Hello guys, this is the Hexagon Zero, and welcome back to another episode of Multiplayer Mondays. Alrighty then, this may look familiar to you if you have ever played Battlefield 3. This is the reimagining on Frostbite 3 of Operation Firestorm, now dubbed Operation Firestorm 2014. 2013? 2014? Yeah, it's 2014. Anyway, so I am here. I use a multitude of different weapons in this gameplay footage here, but right now I'm using the Type 88 LMG with the silencer on, green laser sight, 1x hollow sight, and yeah, and I think I'm using flashbangs. And the reason why I had those equipped is because I was just playing on a Metro server that does not allow explosives, and this was me being an idiot. But don't worry, me and Pretense Pendant have a little bit of a history and certainly a bit of a future. We live practically in the same location. We don't know this, but I assume it just for the fact that we always seem to play in the same servers. Anyway, here I spawned on my ally. I'm using the Assault M416, and I immediately get killed by this guy in a T90 tank. Anyway, Firestorm has undergone some changes since you last saw it in Battlefield 3. The capture points have not changed, nor has the stuff inside of them, other than the fact that they might have put in a couple cranes in different places, or they might have added places that you can set stuff on fire. But here we go. I get my revenge on Pretense Pendant, but I get killed by Jix Cake in the background. But that isn't the last we have seen of Pendant. Anyway, the main evolution on this map, you don't actually get to see in this because I never got up to that point. It's, well, it's kind of this crane falling down. You see it right in front of me on D flag there. If you activate like one of those IED, explosive bomb, whatever things, the crane will blow up and essentially fall down. But around the map, there's a whole bunch of things you can blow up and start fires and a whole bunch of stuff, and that's cool. And there's these guys over at D flag here with DMRs, and I'm just pushing up here because they are just kind of sitting there, and I didn't really want them to be sitting there anymore. So I noticed there's this engineer repairing his tank, and I moved to cover him because I know what a lot of people like to do is they like to kill the engineers while they're dodging back and forth with their repair tool. But I noticed this guy on the map in there, so I start to move in, and then this guy comes over there, so I move back, I get in the tank on the gunner seat, and I try and lay down some suppressing fire, just so I can see those blue Doritos move up, and then I jump out again once that's done, because I don't really want to ride in the tank yet, and I notice this guy on the map on the opposite side of this wall, pop around the corner, and I finish him off with the M416. The recoil on the M416 is kind of hard to control. I haven't got it unlocked far enough yet so that I can get a grip or an attachment for it. But I have nice little tank blow up there. But I have gotten a battle pack with the Cobra sight. That's how I got the Cobra sight. Anyway, so I'm just holding position here because I know there's some people on the opposite side of the hill, and now I'm just testing the firework dynamic of grenades because why not? So I run over here and I see this tank. It's completely unoccupied, so I do a little dive job into the hole there, pull into the tank, notice these two guys, and start laying waste with the HMG. Now this is the tank build that I typically use when playing any map that requires armor, or has armor. It is, and by the way, this is the AA that's shooting me here, that's why it's making little ping sounds. But it's the normal Sabot rounds with the HMG, active protection, and I believe reactive armor? I'm not sure, just so it takes that one more C4 or that one more missile shot to kill me. Although, I am about to get utterly... Well, I see this guy popping over here, so I pop a couple rounds into his head, and right about here... Boom. Immobilized. Something hit me. I think it was this guy with C4, and he didn't put down enough to kill me, so I launch a Sabot round there, and I get him due to the explosive blast radius of this. So I rotate my tank around because I know that my back end is weaker than my front, just so I can... And I think it's this guy. I get him with a long-range HMG. Then I notice this guy, this engineer that's popping up over these rocks here, and he pops up right there, Get a couple shots into him, and I see the rocket coming. I'm like, oh crap, that's not a straw. It's not going to blow up. So I try to hop out there. I spawn outside. The tank blows up. I die. RPG. Anyway, so that's essentially the end of any action. Because the A flag is getting... Well, I wouldn't say... no, I would say. It's getting practically pounded here. And we are losing quite heavily. So, spoiler alert, we do eventually lose. But I'm essentially just kind of marveling at how good this looks right now as I move in, kind of sticking to cover as my squad spawns in behind me. And if you ever have me on your team, I'm usually a safe spawn. And that's the second time I got that guy of the M416. But I'm usually a safe spawn because I'm usually letting everybody else run up in front of me, so yeah. So I'm just sitting here capping the A flag, because actually, upon filming this, it was the double XP weekend. And I get another guy there. And one of the missions, you know, this is Appreciation Month, so they've got a whole bunch of random missions going on. Now here, I will demonstrate my skills as a chopper pilot. Dink. Boom. By the guy I have killed twice with M2 slams. Whoops. I'm just asking me here. Did you place M2 slams on the chopper? And I misspelled chopper. I think I spelled hopper. Yeah, hopper. And then I correct it. But anyway, pointless. Now, I'm trying to switch weapons here. I'm trying to figure out which one to use. And I eventually decided to go with the recon loadout and spawn on this guy who's also being a recon. And this is essentially what happens. I'm in this building for basically the rest of the match. And I see RAA there, or AAA there, and I don't want to bother going over there because I'm not an engineer. And it just blew up anyway, so why not? And I've recently unlocked C4 in my support class, so I don't run Sniper C4 anymore that much. I typically just have either SOFLAM, Tugs, MAV, or Radio Beacon. And actually, I love using the MAV, especially on maps, and I'm trying to go for the headshot here, but he's moving too jaggedly. And I forget how far away he is because I'm using the variable scope, and I thought I was at first times instead of the other times, and I've since then unlocked the rangefinder, so I've removed the variable scope from my M98B and put on the rangefinder. And I don't typically... The reason why you use rangefinders is for zeroing your target. But I don't do that a lot. I just use rangefinders to judge the range. Because normally I have to fire a test shot just to see how far it goes, and then I evaluate from there. But now I know certain numbers that mean certain distances and how far above the actual crosshair that I have to put my target. Anyway, something big hit me just there. And I'm looking around, I'm trying to spot to see if there are any snipers, because I feel like there is somewhere. So I'm checking the actual tower, and I noticed one of our guys climbing up there, so I know it can't be one of ours. But A flag is basically the only flag we got, so I'm holding it down while the rest of the infantry pushes up, because I am not a very good pusher when trying to push up. I typically either run support in the background, or I am supporting infantry as an assault player, or... Although recently I've been using the support class a lot more, simply because I've started to unlock some of the higher tier MLGs, and with the introduction of Operation Metro, when you've got long corridors, essentially where you can set up a bipod enough to deal with that recoil, I can. In fact, I do have some Metro footage recorded, which is essentially, well, campy Metro. People always complain about camping in Metro, and I'm just like, oh... You must be new. The entirety of Metro is essentially camping. So A flag is being captured here, and I notice this T-90 tank rolling up, so I'm like, okay, I better get down before he sees me. And then, stupid engineer pulls out his RPG or whatever, launches the... Actually, it was a straw. Launches it at an active protection tank. Reveals the sniper position that we have, and starts to... I get a hit marker on his chest here, but I don't believe I kill him. But I get a squad assist, so... Yeah, no. So this T-90 tank is starting to fire at us, and he fires one more... I think he fires a tank shell here. I'm not sure. Anyway, I see this guy coming up here. They're starting to move in on our position because we're being a little bit of a nuisance. So I think he's going to move up over here because that's where I was shooting him from. But he eventually takes the opposite staircase, as I see for the fact that we have 2 tugs to place down. He pops around this corner here, firing at my allies, so I eventually take him out with the MP44-3 with suppressor, and I don't know what camo I have in this, it doesn't really matter. So I pick up the support round going, okay, we're gonna get some ammo, and he's got C4 and an airburst. So I'm like, oh, well, screw that. Pick up my M98B again, my favorite sniper rifle. The SRR-61, I have to admit, is really good when you're dealing with long ranges, and Battlefield 4, as it currently stands, is a game that has essentially long corridors and long open areas. So it's advantageous to have something that is long range, but I prefer the M98B because I am a really bad judge of how far ahead of someone to aim my bullet. And the M98B has the fastest bullet velocity of any sniper, so I kind of need that extra bullet velocity. If they're moving left or right, if they're moving up and down, I know exactly where to put it, but if they're moving left or right, I'm lost. And the SR61 just doesn't have the bullet velocity that I am looking for in sniper rifles. The JNG90 is okay, although typically I have to play on maps like Zavod or, let's say, Road Transmission for JNG90 to work. But M98B is definitely my favorite, and it looks really good too. And I get the squad order bonus there by taking out that guy who was killing my teammate there. So I notice... Oh no, I don't notice it yet. Sorry. Let's just talk about my review of Firestorm currently. I don't know why I fired that shot. I fire random sniper shots throughout this entire thing, and I'm sorry for the campy footage, but like I've said before, I am a camper, and I don't have a problem with the term. It's just a term to use to describe a strategy, and it's an effective strategy. People always complain, well, you should PTFO and all that stuff, but... well, if everyone did that, everyone would be dead. You need some people who are running some sort of support in order to hold down an area, or warn you, per se, of something happening. Sorry. So, a lot of what I do is essentially spawning. That's why I like using the MAV. I'm surprised I got a hit marker on this guy, but I did. I think it was his foot, I'm not really sure. But camping is an effective strategy. I don't see a problem with it. Obviously I am mad when someone kills me when they've been camping, but it's no difference when they're moving. I know they're moving or camping or they're just standing still. It doesn't really matter. But this guy, man, the guys, I cannot judge that range, especially with the variable sight. And I like the variable sight because it allows me to zoom in, but it screws up my sniping so badly because here I'm trying to estimate, and I'm actually swapping in between 8 times and the variable sight, which is a really bad thing to do when I'm trying to judge a range, but you know what, I'm doing it anyway. So me and this, I think he's using the SR61 because his sniper bullets aren't moving that fast. We actually end up in a little bit of a sniper match just until we lose. Anyway, my thoughts on Firestorm. It's an okay map for right now. I will definitely have to play it a little bit more, maybe sometime around the D flag, which is normally what I like to do. Yeah, so far I like what DICE has done with the reimagining of it, and I look forward to playing it in the future. Anyway, so this round was fairly good. I played okay in the beginning, and then I just kind of hung back, and in retrospect I probably shouldn't have done that, but you know what, oh well. I got lots of points on all of my weapons. And I unlocked the reflex sight for the M416. Alright, additional points, come on. I always hate how slow this screen is. I think they could speed this up. Anyway, I would like to thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, favorite, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next week. This is the Hexagon Zero, signing out.